Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brian. Hey, just actually headed out to do a couple aeration bids over on the other side of town, but I wanted to do this video while I got a quick minute. It's been a topic that's been on my mind for a while, and it's basically regarding why most businesses fail, why most lawn care guys fail, why most landscapers fail. And you guys have watched a lot of videos probably on this topic if you're watching this video. One thing I really want to discuss, just maybe at length, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's not really a rant, it's just maybe to kind of give you guys some perspective, is why most businesses fail. Alright, so my idea here is a lot of people that decide to start their own lawn care business or landscaping business, it's enticing, it's a cash business, there's a lot of quick profit to it, it's not that hard. There's a lot of reasons people get into it. The barrier of entry, if you will, it's not really that steep. You can buy lawnmowers on credit pretty cheap. You can buy used lawnmowers and they still last. They might not look the prettiest, but you can still cut lawns with them and make some really good income on the side. You can get 20, 30 extra lawn customers, do them after work after 5 p.m. if you got a 9 to 5. You can do them on Saturdays and Sundays, all that kind of stuff. But the real reason that I wanted to do this video and talk about why most guys fail in the business, or why most people who leave a traditional job, or maybe they're self-employed with as a plumber or an electrician or whatever you want to say, and when they start to go out and do their own thing, why they fail. Here's the example I want to give you guys. Let's say that you are working for somebody else and you are cutting grass or you are doing landscaping, something like that, and you're making good money. You're making 14, 15, 16 bucks an hour, good being relative, but you know that you're competent. You guys know that you know how to bid jobs, or you know how to do the landscaping, or hey, I cut grass every day for somebody else, and I know he's getting $25, $30 a yard, and we're doing 3 different yards in an hour, and you're making, what you think is that you're making the owner, let's say $75 an hour worth of work because you just did 3 lawns for $25. You guys tracking with me? And you're only getting paid on a top end 15 bucks to cut for that whole hour. So what you're thinking is, hey, I'm making 15, my owner, the guy that runs his business, is making 75. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go get my own, I'm gonna start my own business, and I'm gonna go make $75 an hour. I'm gonna keep all that profit for myself. Well, I know how to trim, I know how to blow, I know how to edge, I know how to use the lawnmower. It can't really be that hard. And you know what? Most people, that's how they get into business. That's how they get into our profession. And that's pretty much how I got into the business, how I got into the profession. I literally was working for a fertilizer company, and I was making $12 an hour, and I was on the same street one day when I saw the fertilizer company, when I was working for the fertilizer company, I saw a lawn crew pull up, and these guys in 30 minutes, the same time it took me to fertilize 1 or 2 driveways or lawns while I was there, I saw these guys jump out of their truck. They boom, 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 they cut, they trimmed, they blew, they edged, and I'm like, I said, even if they're getting $20 a lawn, that's 40 bucks, I'm getting paid 12, I'm in the wrong business. And literally, I'm not kidding, that next couple of weeks, I started really thinking about, I'm going into business for myself. Now, I was 19, 20 years old, living at home. I didn't have any responsibility other than maybe a $200 a month car payment back then. Cell phones, believe it or not, were just coming on the scene, so I might have had a $60, $80 cell phone bill, you know what I mean? And other than going to Applebee's and Fridays with my friends, I didn't really have any obligations. I didn't have any loans. I didn't have any credit cards. I didn't have any major bills. I didn't have even rent. I was just living at home for right now, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Well, you fast forward, back to my analogy, you've got somebody that decides to go cut grass for themselves, and what they don't understand is that you're not just here to, when you run a business, it's not just the cutting of the grass, it's all the extra things that you never think about when you get into business. And I don't want this video to be too lengthy because you can go down this rabbit hole forever, but you got to look at things like how do you actually sell and get new customers? Do you have any background in sales? You might be that lawn crew cutting and you're very competent with cutting grass, but do you actually know how to bid a property and get a new customer? You also are going to have to do marketing, and you're going to have to design postcards and lawn signs, and you're going to have to learn a lot of this stuff with social media, Facebook, how do I use online search engines and stuff like this. So I really would say, yeah, you're probably really good at cutting grass, but do you have any idea how to do anything with marketing? All right, you might also start hiring some guys, and whether you use a temp agency, like an HR kind of a company that you just pay a premium and it's a really simple way to hire your employees, or do you know how to withhold taxes and fill out forms and all that stuff? And you know what? I'm still learning all that as we go. So do you have a background in HR? A lot of guys, they get in the business and you cut a lawn and you cut it 4 times in a month. It's $100. It's cash or check. You go to the bank and you just throw it in the bank account. You count it as $100 in profit. What you don't realize is that you have a $300 gas bill at the end of the month. You bought a bunch of equipment that whole month, new lawnmower blades, 2-stroke oil, all these other kind of expenses. So even though you might have brought in $1,000 of revenue, you might have $700 of expense. So do you have a background in accounting and finance? Do you understand how to manage your cash flow? Another part, you might have $1,000 of the business out there, but $350 of it doesn't pay up. Do you know how to be customer service and follow up with those phone calls? Do you know how to have some legal representation to maybe send some polite letters encouraging people to follow up with you as final notices? If not, there might be other repercussions. Do you know anything about legal? And I'm not saying you have to be an expert in any of these categories. I just want to give you guys some ideas on how to think about being a business owner. Another thing, you might get 20 different lawn customers, but they're on 20 different cities, they're in 20 different parts of town, 20 different subdivisions, and you're driving all day versus cutting all day. It's a big difference. Do you know how to have some time management, some productivity? Do you understand what you're trying to focus on? Do you understand what income producing activity is and revenue producing activity versus just administrative and time wasting things? The actual process of getting a system together. Hey, when it's just you can just pull up to a lawn, have a conversation, and you just take care of that customer and he's on your list. But what happens if your guy pulls up to that, he's taking your rig out for the day, and he pulls up to that lawn customer that wants to be a new customer of yours? Do you have a system? Hey, this is how we get their contact information. This is how we bid out a lawn. What's our typical price ranges? How do we put that into the computer system? How do we give that to somebody in the office or somebody who's handling that side of your business for you? Again, these are a lot of things that are just on my mind, and I feel for a lot of guys because, again, you might be making $15 an hour cutting grass, and you're knowing that your owner, your boss, is making $75 worth of revenue that hour, but you decide that you're going to go into business and you're going to keep all that profit for yourself. What you don't realize is that you don't have a background in HR, you don't have a background in sales and marketing, you don't have a background in customer service, you don't have a background in accounting and finance, you don't have a background in social media, you don't have a background in HR, and it can get pretty overwhelming when you really look at that side of the business. Now, a lot of guys, myself included, we kind of jumped in full force. Why do you see a lot of young guys get started with the business at 16, 18, 20 years old? And why do you see the guys that do get started at that age, they can grow a business to $100,000, $200,000 a year worth of revenue? Well, back then they didn't have as many obligations, so they had time to fail. They had time to learn and time to adjust. They weren't, as many guys, decide to leave their corporate job. Well, you might have 2 kids, a wife, a mortgage, and a boat. That's probably not the best time for you to jump ship and, throw caution to the wind. Hey, I've got 30 grand in my 401k, or my job laid me off and I've got a pension, and I can or not a pension, a severance, and I'm gonna go, start a lawn business this year. That's fine, but what do you do for winter? Are you gonna get into plowing? Are you gonna hang Christmas lights? Are you gonna go get a temporary job making 12, 15, 16 bucks an hour somewhere to keep that income coming in? Most guys, they just never think that. They just think, hey, I'm gonna jump out and I'm gonna go for it. And this video isn't to be discouraging or anything like that. I just want to give you guys the reality of being a business owner, of being an entrepreneur, versus somebody that just cuts grass for 15 hours an hour and wants to keep the delta of what their owners are making. Another part too is that most people flat out, they're just not disciplined to make it in this business, let alone any business. In the summertime, in the spring, it's beautiful out. It always is. You might have to cancel a camping trip. You might have to not go on the lake as much. You might not be fishing every Saturday morning, whatever your thing is. For me, I really like extreme sports. I love playing paintball. But you know what? If we get rained out Thursday, Friday, you know what? I play paintball on Saturdays or Sundays. Guess what we're not doing? We're not playing paintball. You have work to do. You have obligations. When you work for somebody else, hey, if you want to take that Friday night off and go hang out with your friends and they ask you to come on in and work an extra couple of hours, you can tell them no big deal. It's not your business. The business will still succeed. It'll still move on. You don't really feel any repercussion to that. You don't really care. Now at the same time, go start your own business and you get rained out on a Wednesday, Thursday. You're cutting all day Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You're cutting all day Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you can do some things, of course, to manage the business more properly. You can pull days ahead. You can hire more guys on Wednesday, Thursday. You can have more guys on Friday and Saturday to help you clean up and play catch up. But those are other strategies that you got to learn. A lot of guys, same thing. They don't have the cash flow to pay their life and pay their bills and then also fund a business, you know what I mean, at the same time. You might get paid at the end of a month and you have $500, $10,000, $2,000 net profit. Well, what are you going to go do? Are you going to go buy a GoPro? Are you going to go buy a new four-wheeler? Are you going to purchase a $800 a month truck car payment, or are you going to reinvest into that business and buy things that are going to make you more revenue and hopefully make you more profit? That might take 2, 3, 4, 5 years of reinvesting versus just making some quick profit and then going out to Applebee's and the movies and taking the little lady out and having a good time. And this is the stuff that I wish I would have knew 8, 9 years ago when I first got started in business. And you know what? I'm so glad that we paid the price to do a lot of that stuff because we now have a little bit more lifestyle. We can buy a little bit nicer vehicles. We can do, and we're not, crushing it, like some of these other guys that do lawn care landscaping, but we're pretty comfortable. But it took 7, 8 years to do that. We're investing in a new mower this year and a new aerator this year. You know what we're not buying? A new vehicle for the wife this year, because we're going to pay the price this year, invest into those pieces of equipment, and pay them off in 6 months or less, probably 2 weeks. And just the way we manage our business, we don't carry anything over 30 to 60 to 90 days. And you know what? Next spring, next summer, we'll be able to take all that extra revenue, all that extra profit, and I'll be able to buy the wife a new Chevy Tahoe Cash or a used Lexus Cash or whatever we want to do, whatever you guys want to do. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the truth. I wanted to give you guys some thoughts. Do I believe in reading personal development books and self-help books? You bet. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and The One Thing, and many other books that I could give you guys as tools and aids that help you grow your business mindset. Because when you're becoming, when you leave somebody just making $15 an hour to becoming a business owner, you don't just, oh, boom, I became a business owner overnight. You might have a piece of paper that says you own a business entity, but that doesn't mean you're a business owner. That doesn't mean you have business owner mindset. It just means you went from an employee to an employee who now owns a business owner license, if you will, that says that you're, Bob's Lawn Care, if you will. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. I'm trying to give you guys some encouragement, not some discouragement. You better be reading some books to give you guys some proper mindset of being a business owner. You hang around at these lawn and landscape shows and meet the other guys in your profession and learn from their mistakes. I mean, I was at our Weingart's open house show just a couple weeks back, and I was just literally just hanging out next to a guy at the sales stand waiting to talk to my salesman, Ted. And this other guy was just talking to another gentleman, and I learned more about enclosed trailers than I have probably all winter running around on YouTube, on Google, on all the review sites, on Lawn Site, all these other places. I learned more in probably a 5-minute eavesdrop kind of a conversation from those guys. So you're always learning, you're always a student, you're always trying to figure things out. So anyway, I hope that gives you guys some encouragement. I'm not here to discourage you, but I want to give you guys a difference between making 15 bucks an hour cutting grass and deciding to go do it over on your own, thinking you're going to make that $75 more an hour. That's not true. Look around. The boss that you have right now has a $20,000 plus or minus work truck, an $8,000 landscaping trailer, a $500,000 in inventory at the yard, depending on how big some of these companies are. He's got insurance, he's got legal, he's got HR, he's got accounting and marketing costs. Everybody that's there, he's on the payroll. So when your boss gets on your case about bringing that revenue in, it's because he's got a lot of stress, a lot of responsibility. And I just wanted to give you guys that idea and that perspective before you just kind of jump ship. Now, all that being said, I wouldn't change the last 8 years of my life because I learned all that stuff, and that's why we're business owners. That's why we can always succeed and we can always figure things out because we got baptized by fire, if you will. So anyway, wanted to give you guys that quick message. Hope you guys are having a great day. Go out there, kick some butt, be tenacious, work 24 hours a day like somebody's trying to take it away from you, as Mark Cuban says. We love you guys, appreciate you. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch up with you guys soon. Bye-bye.